everybody. So I'm just gonna sort of just walk through some stuff with you and show you kind of how I function. And to do that, I've got a lot of things going, as you can see. Over here, you can't tell right now because we're in a sort of a dark place. Not metaphorically, actually, we're in a dark place. We're in a tunnel. There's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't mean a metaphorical light at the end of the tunnel. I mean a physical light. It's going to appear right here. So, and I just heard some people laughing, and maybe you did too, because of the way I'm sort of trying to produce this thing. Anyway, just having fun. So I have a little terminal here. This is a Macintosh, an old Macintosh, and I just use the default tool. So terminal, as you see there, something happened. Terminal is the default tool for console access, right? So this is what you would use to plunk around on your Macintosh. And here's another screen that's bigger. And now this is actually a Unix shell. This is Bash. Bash, and that stands for Born Again Shell. But as is many things in this world, born is spelled that way, right? So, see, because there used to be one called the Born Shell. There was also one called the Corn Shell. And I struggled with Bash at first because I had worked with the Corn Shell for so long. Anyway, but now I've accepted Bash. And in this world, I have some different, I build little functions that help me out. And that's probably my primary place that I operate. Kier talks about this idea that there's like we're in this tunnel for a really long time. See, here we go. Yeah, we're coming out. We're coming out in a second. This is scenic train ride from Bergen to Oslo. And when I just started, we happened to be in a very long tunnel. It dings sometimes. It's all sorts of fun. That's to help keep things just... You can focus on that if you want, or listen to what I'm saying. So within Bash, you can just program little things, right? Like the easiest is echo, and then that thing that you see right there is me just hitting the keyboard with my left fingers, right? And then that echoes that out. Here we go.
Now approaching Arna station.
We're now approaching Arna station, I guess. All right. Anyway, I'm going to kind of jump ahead here. So, in the shell, I save different things, and I map them to these single keys, like to A. If I do A and then dot, then I call these my out functions, and there they are. And that's like kind of the core that I use to do things. For example, A dot F shows you a function. Sometimes I accidentally hit the take a picture key, which is unfortunate. Where we've arrived in Armada. Now, so I've also mapped some functions to D, and one of them is d.wrigler.ssh, and that goes from this machine to my server. I happen to have a server called wrigler.org. So if I do my a.f command and look at d.wrigler.ssh, that shows you what it's actually running. So I'm going to run this command called SSH, which stands for Secure Shell, which is the industry standard way that all of the enterprise professionals connect to these back-end servers, and it's quite foreign to people from the world of Microsoft, I take it, but which is where most people live, right? So you have to have different tools for this. Anyway, just going to run that, and now I am on this server that I often point to, and it's called Wrigler.org. And this directory happens to map to the home directory. And I usually end up in this other directory called, oh, it has different names. Now it's called Quick Load. So that's because I try to simplify things out as much as I can. And also, I'm distancing myself from this entire solution. So while I think it is of value to learn how to operate in this world, it's freeing as opposed to the way I feel when I'm typing into a Windows programming IDE, like all of the ones that are so popular, Visual Studio. I don't use things like that. I use VI. So if I want to edit something, I use VI, this command. Again, I just thought I would add this. I don't know if you can hear this. It's kind of cool. The guy on the train is talking. Train to Bergen. I find this just kind of relaxing to watch. It's the opposite of the sort of fight the power stuff that gets you really excited. He's got a lot to say. See here, and here it comes in the distance. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. So if the stuff I'm talking about seems daunting, and it does, especially since there's the destroyer of worlds there, just focus on the light of the tunnel, right? And I don't know. It's pretty cool. So what we've got here is this is an image that I got from, it's in the Open Commons, and I'll make sure and reference to it. This guy's got a lot to say. I think it's all part of the experience. This is Herland. Alright, we're in Herland. I had a command called herstory. Let's see if herstory's on here. So if I say A, it's A.H. So if I say A.F.A.H, this is a command I call herstory. And it's probably a little bit screwed up, but what it does is it converts the last command I typed into here, right? Like, whatever. It converts it into a function, and that's called herstory. And so, and I use this like as a read eval print loop. And now, like I said, though, I'm moving away from this into this new world, and what you're seeing here is is this site. So it's the directory I'm in, right? So I'll show you how that works, right? See this? Quick load here, and then quick load here, right? So, for probably evil hackers out there in the world who somehow don't know this part, I guess you're now 100%. So, and what we're seeing here is index.html, right? That's the default. And again, I use this command called vi, right? So I'm vi index.html, and I use a rather simple set of, up and down arrow to move up and down, and it the command does highlight things for me. So, and so you'll notice a couple things. I have this. I include this script in the HTML, and this is called ethers, right? So that means that when you visit this page, and when anybody visits this page, if you say ethers, it will show you stuff about this package. This package is called ethers. And I use ethers to talk to the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain and all that stuff. So that's what ethers does. Ethers is my gateway to the world of blockchain, right? And I've put it in my little toolkit here. And some other interesting ones. This one allows peer-to-peer communication, secure peer-to-peer communication, no less. That similar to what you might experience with Zoom or something like that. I have a lot of names for things. So this is the free talk script that I'm calling, and if we then move over, look at it. Right, this is JavaScript, and and in this world, instead of using an A to kind of symbolize what I'm doing, I use an F. I think maybe because I call it free talk. So again, ethers is there, right, and you access it, but then just the letter F. I took over the whole letter F because it's my freaking web page, so screw you. and then on F, okay, I've been fiddling around with it, and I've loaded up an image. Now, normally when you see an image displayed on a web page, it's done differently than what I did this time. So let's see if we can find it. So the image is it's right here. But what I did, I kind of broke this into little steps. So, and by the way, ls means show me the files that match wildcard to JPEG. So show me all the JPEGs, because I remembered this file, Apuch de la Maya, is a JPEG. Now, this command is cat for catenate, and it'll show me the contents of this file, which might mess the screen up. But what I can do is I can pipe it using this pipe and send it to a command called xd -p -c, I think. Yeah, something like that. Let's just try it with -p. Yeah, that's fine. So, and so that converts the JPEG into hexadecimal. Hexadecimal to mean 16, the 16 decimal, right? And that's F, 0 to F. So the hexadecimal letters are 0, 0 at the end, whatever, A, B, C, D, There's 16, instead of having 10 like in decimal, you have 16, and they're stuck together usually in twos, right? So that's usually what we see. If we don't have the P on there, if we just do that, it kind of makes it a little easier to see. Here is the innards of the JPEG file, kind of kind of shown to you somewhat. This weird format. Of course, it's not. It's you might be able to make out like JPEG or something like that at the beginning. I don't know. In this universe, it's really a joy to play around with this, because you can just it's like a game. You can just kind of fiddle with stuff. Don't get, you just gotta explore the universe. Now, having said that, I think people who can master the shell, master this back end of Unix, the world of Unix, where you have a command, like you have a command called top, right? And then top shows you the top process is running right now. It's just bash on this, so it's not super exciting. This isn't a particularly exciting server. But yeah, so anyway, so I converted the JPEG into this format. And then I went about loading the format in the web page, right? And I used a command called fetch. See there? Oh, there's the proof is in the pudding. So I did something like this. First I made this, let's see. I spelled it like that. So I made that file, right? Kind of just by hand. I just kind of crafted it out, and it's just the insides, it's the JPEG file in this format, right, as a new file, right? And then I just loaded the file in over here. And, I know that this is not easy. Like, I know that when people watch this, they're going to be saying, well, what the fuck is this guy? But just like, let it waft over you, Just focus on the people on the train, and, you're on a journey the same way they are. And you can just see, by just seeing things, you can probably process a lot more. And then if you go to, a college or something, then you have some context, maybe, right? Anyway, so then I uploaded. These are all different versions of this. See, that's like the hex is now in this world, and I eventually got it to what you call base 64, and ran a command that made it pop up over here, right? But now I'm interested in taking this hex and using my ethers functions. Ooh, Ethereum, that's an even different. I'm using my ethers functions to write it, and I can use MetaMask right here to write the man god of death, Apuk, or Apush, I guess. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. See, I can run a command here to make it go into a transaction and end up on the ledger, and that's what I'm going to work on now. So, and you're welcome to just watch or whatever. And again, just let things kind of waft over you, right? So this is I feel like this is the thing I want to write. However, I need to add another little piece to it, and I would call that the dead beef message. And so you see how below it's kind of showing that's all stuck together. That's what that plus that means. The idea of using plus here is just fraught with peril, and it makes this kind of a unsavory language to use. The problem is I don't have any choice, right? And you don't have any choice. Here's your choice. Your choice is to come back and live your life in the beautiful but obscure world of shell, and be beholden to somebody like me to build a server for you, or just use JavaScript, even though it's stupid sometimes. All right, but so I'm just kind of putting stuff together, and so instead of saying, so this is a word, dead beef. You see, you can sort of make sense of it, and there's a lot, and it's a hex word, right? That's the thing. See, you can dead beef is made with all of these sort of characters. It only goes up to F. Remember, it only goes up to F. So, and the longer version is Dead Beef Cafe, but the for reasons that I'm not necessarily going to try to explain, I just have 8 characters to play with. So instead of dead beef, I could say, what I'm going to try to tell you is that there's 2 parts to this, right? So how can I say that? How can I say that in a way that if some random person sees this, then they might guess at that, right? So the first word has to be readable. Of this eight, right? Like that. If you see that, you would think, oh, okay, that's probably not a coincidence, right? Or of course, if you see this, that's meaningless. I'm just kind of trying to think out loud here. And I was thinking maybe Baba. There you go. So if you say Baba, and then you have some numbers, and then that's gonna mean something, right? Like I could say, the only thing that it really probably needs to tell you is that this is a JSON file, right? And if I say that, what I mean by that would be, I'm going to use 4 lines to describe this. When I say lines, I'm talking about this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, kind of at the beginning. And then you just skip that, right? So instead of saying dead beef, it's going to say Baba, some number, and then that part is going to be readable text, and that's how I'm going to do it. And the reason why I'm doing things this way is because this is the Mayan god of death, and so this needs to not be. You wouldn't want this associated with your smart contract, right? He lives on his own terms, so I'm not gonna use a smart contract. This I'm gonna use what I call a noken. Noken here. I'm just typing the word. It's It's just to say that it's no token, right? It's a noken. So I'm gonna create a transaction and stick this in, right? Like this is like, let's see, I'll show you. TX is TX taken. Okay, so if I say, let's see, TX equals new array. Alright, how about that? Okay, and then I'll say, see, then I can say TX two, right? And this is who this transaction is going to be sent to. You don't have from because you don't get to say from. The server says who. The system says who you are. So you never have to put your name on it. It'll say this is from whoever. Because let's face it, if you could say from, then you would lie. You could just lie. So, and then if this was a smart contract system and I was trying to read it, I would read the input. But there's no input here, so it's just going to be data. So, see, that's where I set TX data before, so I would say then that TX data is going to be this thing. In this world, right, this would be correct. I would say, well, here's the TX data, the transaction data, the picture of Apuk. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, just randomly post this thing. I will give you the dead beef prefix to mean I understand that, you know, or I'm saying that this, these 4 characters here is some sort of code, right? But instead, now I've come up with this other one, so it's going to be, let's see, OX ABA. So if we say 1, then I would need to add that. And I guess I can do that, right? See, now if you look at TX, see it's got data in it. Unfortunately, this isn't in the logic of the system I just made up. I'm lying to you. I'm saying, okay, there's 1 unit of at preface, right? But then I need to add that in, right? So what I usually do then is I take my F and I just will add, F by the way stands for Fiona. I will add something to it. Let's see, F dot prefix, maybe. Yeah. Equals C and then, right. And then that's 16. We'll do it this way. Okay, so now if we do this, if I add this in there, right? See, now I've added that little prefix. Of course, the prefix doesn't actually tell you anything now, right? But so now if somebody comes and looks at this and they just say, I wonder what this is. I will try to interpret this as hex. The first part will be turned into some sort of character that won't necessarily make any sense. Right?
We will arrive at Dala station in 5 to 6 minutes.
See, it's just like we've been riding on the train. See how easy this is? Like I say, just let it waft over you. And then this is where questions come from, right? So the part I'm working on here is having this make some sort of sense. And when you get there, and I'd switch back. Sometimes I get lazy and just switch back to terminal. So what am I going to say? Over here on this side, and first I'll just say the name. There it is. Okay. Wow, it has a comma right there. That just hurts. That just hurts me, but that's okay. And I added this. I added the 360 because that's one of the dimensions to it. So I know that this doesn't completely do service to it, and I'll dig up the rest of the information. But just for a start, right, let's come back to this model that I set up before. See, I copied and I pasted that. Ooh. If you do this command, see, it didn't do a return. And then I'm gonna pipe that into see, so it's turned it into this, and this is a very simplistic way to do things. This is not. I'm just kind of fiddling around. This is how I usually do stuff to begin with. The way I do something the first time is not the way that I show people. That's not the final product. It's just the easiest way to fiddle with stuff. So, I mean, it's a JPEG file, right? It's a JPEG file. Now, here's the thing, though. If we say this, there we go. How long is that? So if he says PC 32, P minus C 32. Aha, okay. This maybe is making sense. Here, you can still sort of see the train at the top. Up there. Train to Bergen. So, that means then that 32 is not enough. Right? This has to, if all I add is this name right here, then I'm gonna have to change this number. So see, because it won't all fit in one line. So so let's say, okay, so now we're at 2. So we're at 2 lines. And now the next thing is this is I might as well add the whole URL, right? So let's find that. find the whole URL of this bad boy. Take out that part. There he is. So this is where I got it from. Right? Now. So that's really what I would want. That guy right there. And of course, I could do all sorts of things. I could format this so that it. See, so now it's a URL, right? And now we've added another line. So for the URL, we have another line. So let's just go let's just say, okay, now we're adding 3 lines to the beginning. And see, in this part right here, this is going to be padded with zeros, right? So it all makes it all even out. And again, just you know, the train has stopped. The train has stopped. I think, are we trapped? Are we moving? What's going on? If this is too stressful, just watch the train. Just watch the train and relax. Here we go. Phew, that was a close call. So, right. So, P1, P2. Okay. Now, I could bump it up another notch here. Sending this amp to 11. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? So instead of that being text, I'm going to say, by typing HTML into this thing, right? This is the stuff that websites are made of. Literally, I'm literally just typing the HTML into here. There you go. And then it closes out with another little A. And again, this is the, once I saw Paul Graham sort of doing this in Lisp, I just like, well, if he can do it, you can just, you don't have to use a really heavy toolkit to operate in this space, I guess is my point, right? So that's not a great name for that. So this would be what the name might be. I guess this is. I don't know if this file goes with let's see. Okay, so really shouldn't this be this is a French page. Gosh. So can I find being? We'll just leave it at French. It's cool. Just leave it at French. Oh gosh, my snob amp is up to 11. So here we'll do this. Sometimes you end up confusing yourself if you get too clever. So, what I'm going to say is, I'm gonna put two links with a hard break in between them. So that's a horizontal line. So what I'm typing in here will show up as two URLs in some browser. If somebody were to pull all this out, make sense of it, and try to put it into a browser, you would see two URLs. One is the main lead that we are talking about, this guy in French, no less. And that here also is the specific Creative Commons file that this is, right? So, and of course, if they don't like it, then I'm sorry, but there's nothing to be done. There's nothing can be done. Okay, so that's why I'm trying really hard to get it right. Okay, so the way these tags work then is this is going to say right, so that's the second one. Href, and then that's the first one. And then I'm going to say, where was that? Wiki Common, I think. Yeah. There. Okay, I think that's good enough. And it's now it's that long too, right? That's the other thing. So, just because I'm somewhat concerned now that I might have made a mistake, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, echo all of that. Oh. Maybe something like this. Echo. Right, echo all of that into test. And so here in this quick load directory, I can just say duplicate and test. There we go. This is what I was trying to describe before. Look, the train's coming. We're literally not in the dark anymore. Literally and figuratively. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. So there's the Wikipedia. Right. And let's see. And then here is, in all of its glory, a discussion of in French. And see, just change it to English there. Boom, done. Okay, so, and I think that's good enough, right? And again, if it's not, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I'll guess I would be saying I'm sorry a lot if that's not good, because it's I'm putting it into the forever web, right? It's just is what it is. So okay, so and then that was just to make sure, right? So it was that. And then again, we send it to this command xxd. And you know, maybe it would have been easier to do this in JavaScript. I don't know. Last character is because I need to put a minus in there. One of the frustrations of dealing with this world is using the back arrow key. I always have to use the back arrow key or figure out some other key sequence to move. There we go. But you see, I'm building something to stick into here, right? And now, if you do this, you should see yeah, see, it comes back. Right? It brings it all back. It's all there. So and so I just need to again kind of just play with it a little bit. And this is what programming really is. It's not. It's just fiddling with stuff. It doesn't really matter if you have some application in Windows that, I mean, I guess that helps. You can drag and drop things, but at the end of the day, to be let's call it a rock star, you've got to be able to operate in this very abstract place, right? And you just gotta, you know, maybe the train is the most important part here. Help you function, right? So I'm gonna make sure that this is actually 32 characters and get it to be the right length and put zeros at the end and get this Baba number to line up, and then send it all on. But I think probably this would be a good place to stop, okay? Because this might not even be recording at all. Anyway, all right.